Welcome to Lay on the Light. This is going to be a rather short episode because, quite frankly, it's hard for me to really. The verses that I've set up to analyze today, it's really a hard one for me to analyze. Let me see if I can find one of my King James Bibles around here. I was going to wait until tomorrow to deal with it, and I thought, this is burdening me for some time, because really and truthfully, this is an issue that is mentioned in the Bible, that people against the church, outspoken against the church, could use to say that Christ never meant for the preaching of eternal marriage. Okay? But failing to be able to find one handy, I'll go ahead and just give the synopsis. Recite the verses as best I can. Then came the Sadducees, which believed there is no resurrection, saying, a certain man had 7 brethren, which, having taken a wife, bore no seed. And when he had died, the first came unto the wife, but bare no seed. And the second like also, and unto the 7. Wherefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be? For all 7 had her to wife. Okay, this is where it gets catchy. And I'm going to go ahead and give my interpretation according to really my line of study in graduate school. Kind of still pretty law. I should have gone to law school when I was in graduate school. Jesus said, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are the angels in the kingdom of God. And so many times I say, oh, see, that just means that Christ never intended for the doctrine of eternal medicine, of eternal marriage. Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. Now, the thing that the Sadducees are discussing with Jesus is something in the Mosaic law called the Levirate law. And the law states that if a man should die, his brother should take him to bring forth seed in, as an inheritance. And even such a thing had happened in Jesus' ancestry. his bloodline grandfather through, well, Joseph. Alright, now, check it out. In the book of Luke, people think that the book of Luke is giving his ancestry through his through his mother. And maybe that's true. But I want you to think about this and chew on this. Okay, maybe Eli was Mary's father. There's some Christian traditions that might disagree, but then again, I don't know, issues with that. Okay, suppose Eli was. Maybe it was one of those, I'm just speculating, maybe it's just one of those polygamous things. Through one wife, he brought Mary as his seed. And then he had another wife through his brother Jacob. It's called the Levirate law. And so he bore his own seed through Mary. And that might be said that through his brother Jacob, who passed on. It was through we can argue that in the Levirate marriage that Joseph possibly came just a few years before marriage. Some people like Catholics say that Joseph was an older man. I'm not sure I really buy that. I kind of picture him as being, just a few years older than Mary. Therefore, he had the stamina to help her get to Bethlehem and bring Christ into the world. But what it was is Christ. He says this. He's nullifying the Levirate law in him, okay? The law of Moses is complete in him. And what it is Christ says, you do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. There's nothing wrong with, it being in his descent, but what I think what he's trying to say is, ancestry alone does not determine how eternal marriage is administered. And what I believe that the Sadducees was doing to really trying to trip him was omit the possibility of eternal marriage. But now, okay, here's the other possibility. The other possibility is Christ knew that eternal marriage was going to be an eternal principle. But you're talking about the days back in the Aaronic priesthood, okay? He was answering, I really believe this, okay? This is another possibility. He was answering skeptics in the mind of a skeptic. Now, I'm not saying he don't believe. I'm not saying he don't believe in the resurrection. But it's kind of like in a roundabout way, his rhetoric, his tone, is kind of telling these left-wing Sadducees. Yeah, I'm going to go there, okay? I'm not trying to make this, present tense political, okay? Because that's not what this Leah on the Light show is for. What this Leah on the Light show is for is Christ is basically giving a back at you, at the skeptical left-wing arm of the priesthood. Okay, you think about it. I think he was leaning more towards the right-wing scribes and Pharisees. Not totally. I mean, not totally. Because they too, just like the Sadducees, were trying to use a roundabout way to distort and put loopholes and add upon unnecessary things in the law of Moses. And I'm not going to go into particulars there because, well, I'm not a Torah scholar. I'm not a Torah scholar, therefore, I don't think it's my first fair assessment. But what I am saying is Christ meant for the installment. But he threw back their skepticism, probably to annul the Levirate law, and to say, hey, in your finite Aaronic priesthood, there's no marriage in the resurrection, because we all know that eternal marriage is an ordinance of the Melchizedek priesthood. Now, Christ had the Melchizedek priesthood, but it was not fully instituted for the first time after Sinai until around the time of shortly before Pentecost. I want you to think about that. The same time of year, full circle, the issue with the Sadducees. Okay, guys, I want you to know, I hope you enjoy this. When we come back Wednesday, we are going to be dealing with some more interesting passages. Possibly something that's a little bit easier to digest. So here we go, folks. Hope you enjoy listening to Leah Homo Light. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of the Leah Homo Light family. This is Jimi Hendrix. Until next time, remember who you are. Read your scriptures. And by all means, preach the gospel. God bless you. See you Wednesday night.